Hello everyone, and today we are going to play as the Trumpist America in Hearts of Iron 4, the mod is TFR. We are going to jump ahead of course, and a quick briefing for you. We are going to choose Trump's side after this focus is done, and then we are going to do all of those focuses until we have none left, and this focus tree will unlock. And of course you don't really have to make Trump win, because it's pretty hard to make him win, you know. Still, even under Trump you can do the focuses, and after doing all of those 3 final focuses, you can go ahead and start your civil war. Now that civil war has started, we are in relatively bad position. We have our enemy who has 2 big tank armies and also 2 military armies, and we only have 3 military armies and 1 small, relatively worse armor army. So for first, of course, we are going to try to defend against them. The Unionists are actually very aggressive at the start of the game, and that's the reason that they are going to lose. Meanwhile, we take our first focus, and also here I just really try to make an offensive and close Chicago, but later on I will see how bad of a mistake that was. We deploy all of our forces, air force, to control the air, and at least try to control the air. Meanwhile, we do also buy a lot of oil. And here we choose in the event that our president will always be present with a MAGA hat on. As you see here, after doing the first focus, we have the future of the government. Now we side with our military and start doing our army focuses, of course. Here we have few decisions to do. I will choose a vice president for now. I don't really remember which vice president I did choose, but yeah. And meanwhile, on other fronts, our front is terrible, just terrible mess. The Unionists have breakthrough in Springland and all that, and they are really getting close to our big cities, one of which is the St. Louis. Meanwhile, I was still trying dumbly to actually attack Chicago and take it out. For VP, for the Americans, we choose Marco Rubio. If you say where is JD Vance, you will see him later on in this video. He will play a crucial role here. The tank divisions are really on edge here. We are very close to getting all of our tank divisions into one big encirclement, after which of course we are going to die. So I decided here to evacuate them from that, and this was very unhopeful for the first, but then something clicked, and yeah, I got just lucky. The Unionists didn't really attack that hard, so we managed to actually go ahead and withdraw our military, more than 20 to 30 divisions, which is almost half of our military, you know, more than half probably. And here we get another important event, which is Elon Musk support. We of course choose him, yes, we do support him, and now he's available as the economic minister in our ministers tab. Well, the front lines have been successfully stabilized, I can say that, and we also try to make 3 more infantry brigades. And as you see here, they successfully break through the lines of St. Louis, around it at least, and they do make a pretty big mistake here, because after the breaking the line, they did not secure the flanks, which leaves us with a very beautiful, very great opportunity to close all of those divisions. As you guessed, of course I do it. And those are not some shitty divisions, those are really great tank divisions and motorized divisions. So we try to make another one in Chicago. Well, for now it fails, but maybe later on it will work out. The reason why it fails is mainly because there is a river there, a huge one, and also there is a very big supply problem there. Now that I'm more confident in this, we move all of our motorized divisions to Chicago. We make a small front line here and tell our divisions to push, and as you would never guess, our divisions actually do make the breakthrough here in Chicago, after which we have just a bunch of Unionist divisions into big encirclement, which is always a great news. And here we close to more 10 divisions, you know, that is very great. And also a thing to mention here, that every time we get into Unionist America, we get 6 divisions, which is great, I guess. And after all of that has happened, the Unionists have really weakened out, because all of their pushing divisions have been just cooked, and this just leaves them without anything. And well, after capturing Washington and going into Richmond, our forces successfully capitulate the Unionist government of America, which is great. And for now we take all of those 4 focuses that will give us the option to either send ultimatums to the legitimate governments or to just attack people. And here, as you see, we have 1 and we get this Biden event. So here I had a choice. Either I go after Patriots and League of South, or I go after the Communists. And as you would guess, I went after the Communists. I sent some ultimatums to the state of Texas and also state of New Mexico. They of course accepted it, and now I have joined the wars against their enemies. And meanwhile they are pushing into our territories. We are just starting to, you know, close up our infantry, and here we have sent another ultimatum to the military command. And after all that has happened, now we are fighting against all of the Western powers, the Communists, the Birmingham's army, the Federal Command, the Aryan Brotherhood. We are fighting against every single one of them, and we are winning actually. As you see here, we have closed a big encirclement here, and we are on our way to close even bigger. And yes, I had some concerns about the Patriots and also the National Socialist movement, because they already won their civil wars, the small civil wars of theirs, and I was really wondering if I'm doing a right thing. And as you would guess, I did actually do a right thing. After closing all of that divisions in the Communist America, it was much easier for us to continue towards capitulating every single one of them. Now, meanwhile we do it, we go ahead and do all of libertarian focuses to get to the end of the new focus tree that we got. Here we capitulate another guy and the Federal Command. Now it's left only the Communists and Aryan Brotherhood, if I'm not wrong. We also have the Mexican gangs, but it's not a big problem. Our forces enter Campton and we are really closing up to end of the Communist government. Our goal is definitely to attack and defeat the Patriotic Front before they attack us, because if the Unionists attack us too, that would be a very terrible situation to be in. I don't want that to happen, so we are going to attack first. And as you see here, the first direction that we are going to close is going to be the Detroit, and of course we concentrate all of our mechanized divisions here. The rest of our military will be in the front lines with the Patriotic Front. They do have a lot of armor there. Now the National Socialist movement has capitulated successfully, which means that all of our motorized divisions can now go ahead and attack the Patriotic Front. Now after our armored divisions have arrived, we are 100% sure that the days of Patriotic Front are just counted. As you see here, we make a lot of major encirclements. We encircle in New York, we encircle around New York, and after a few more encirclements, well, they eventually give up, which leaves only the Confederate States of America against us, which is going to be the easiest ones probably, because the Confederates, they do have a lot of divisions, but their terrain is not the best one. They're very easy to invade. And after our forces enter Florida, they just capitulate, which means that we can now reunify America and get this beautiful event, the Constitutionalists Reunify America. Now we have unlocked the Back in Business focus tree, which we are going to use. Here we are going to go with the Giant of Eggs, because I do not really want to have a block until the 32 against attacking nations. I really want to attack nations. Canada, Mexico, probably more of European nations, African nations. I want to attack everyone. Venezuela, Cuba. Well, we are going to get to every single country. You know, probably not the Asian countries. I hate Asia. I'm probably not going to ever play in the Asia. You know, I hate it so much. It's just not interesting. And we do not appeal the amendment to run for the third term because, well, we are still polite. Trump is good. Trump loves people. Trump will never be a dictator. That's why we chose the libertarian part, of course. Now we start our big American restoration. We are doing all of the focuses and also attacking our neighbors. We do defeat Mexico and the Central American government, which leaves us only with Canada. And after a few days of negotiations, we also attack Cuba. We make few naval invasions there, and after the second naval invasion even arrived, our divisions have managed to successfully conquer all of Cuba. And also we were really closing up to coring all of our nation. Of course, I did not core them for now because we had armored divisions as our garrisons. resistance, which I didn't really see, to be honest with you. So that's the reason that we got all of that resistance, which did not let us to do shit. Now that it's gone, we are going to, of course, go ahead and do all of the important stuff. Now our focus is, of course, on Canada. We have to take them out. We have to take them out very fast because we do not tolerate any nations bordering us. Well, because I don't like them. I don't like any one of them. We do make a national guard, the Trump's guard, and also make this beautiful division template here, which also works out, you know, it's pretty cool. And we have the inauguration of the new president, who is Elon Musk. This guy has won the elections in America, and Trump delivers a farewell to the nation. He's earned his rest, and Elon Musk will, of course, continue his path down to, you know, attacking people, making economy greater, and I guess attacking some more. That's the path of Trump. That's the Trump's path that is going to follow. Meanwhile, we do make some refineries because almost every single country on the earth has declared embargo against us. We have two options. We either make refineries and stuff like that, or we attack nations for resources, which is crazy thing if you think about it. And we are really closing up to finishing up our doctrine, and the American Reconstruction has also been finished by Elon Musk, which means that we have now the full capabilities of doing every single thing we want, and also we can, of course, justify war goals on them, so that's another great point. Meanwhile, our divisions are now getting ready to the fight against the Canada, and as you see in this very small little time lapse, Canada just goes ahead and capitulates. This was very easy. Our troops didn't even have to be that good. Meanwhile, I failed to tell you that the Russians won the war against the Europeans, so now the Europeans are forming a communist faction against them. And a little bit of spoiler here, we are not going to join Europeans or the Russians. Well, the reason is because, well, Europeans are communists, we are not communists, and the Russians are nationalists, we are not nationalists too. Meanwhile, we start making and producing the Elon's divisions. Those are divisions filled and stocked up with tanks and stuff like that, very great stuff, with the latest technological advancement. So, our government has decided that attacking Greenland would be a very nice idea, so we attack Greenland and also Iceland. Our genius leader, Elon Musk, a philanthropist, genius, billionaire, has decided that we have a clear path to follow to get our hands on Europe. What we need to do for first? We need to get Iceland and Greenland. After that, we move our navy to there and we prepare a naval invasion to Ireland. After taking Ireland, we will make it a huge naval and military base for all of our divisions to station there. Then we will plan our attacks on United Kingdom. Of course, we are not going to side with Russia. And meanwhile, Elon Musk has actually managed to get our budget higher than our debt, and we were slowly but surely paying off all of our debt, which was very great. But the other thing that has risen up is the inflation, so we get low interest rates instead of the 0%, near 0%, because that was just not our case, you know. Meanwhile, we attack Britain, and as you've guessed, in the first days of attack, they are very unprepared to that attack, and well, they start losing in the first hours. And very unpredictably, UK has capitulated to Russia instead of us, so Elon Musk, angry with that decision, has decided that we should attack Russia too. Now we are in war against the Russians and all of the Europeans, which is, you know, maybe not the smartest thing to do, but yeah, I guess we were angry with the Russians, and we were angry in reason. We had reason for our anger. Now we started our second naval invasion in UK, and this naval invasion also prevailed very good. We did it very fast. Of course, some Russian divisions have arrived at the end, but we have managed to push them. But that fight with the Russian divisions, Russian tank divisions, has taught us that the Russians are not the weak ones here, you know? Europeans are much weaker than Russians. And Elon Musk still decided to do a very great mechanical naval invasion in France, the second D-Day, if you want to call it that. And that was a very huge plan for America and all of Americans. We had more than 7 full armed divisions ready to attack in that position. And if this was to fail, then it would be the biggest military failure in the US military history, which is very, very bad, and we do not want that to happen. Now, so we get the second American elections, which of course gets Elon Musk re-elected. I guess I would re-elect a guy who lowered our debt, who raised up our GDP, and also who conquered a lot of lands. I would give him a vote. Now our divisions successfully land in all of the naval invasion points that we had at the start of the plan, but after pushing in France, after a few days, we met the very big truth, the reality of the war. We take Paris, we make encirclements in Brest. After a few months of attacking, we do get to Amsterdam, we do get Brussels, but we meet a big trouble. The Russian tanks arrive. Well, it turns out that those were not Russian tanks that were fighting us. Those were Indian and German and French tanks that fighting against us. And now that the Russians, the real Russians, have arrived, the front lines were looking terrible. They're the worst it's ever been. And we also get few divisions into encirclements. So we had two options. Either we stay here and we die and we lose all of our soldiers, or we go ahead and actually evacuate all of our soldiers. Well, Elon Musk has picked variant with the evacuation one, but even with the evacuation, our divisions still lose a lot of great comrades that would have been lost if we didn't do this naval invasion. But you know, it's the way the thing is, you know, you cannot hide from it, you cannot do anything about it. Actually, we do get a lot of divisions encircled. So now also with the fail of our invasion, we also get shortage of chromium. Why we get it? Because we attacked too much people and South Africa has decided to embargo us. This means that we have only one way to get the chromium back and start making a lot of tanks, is to attack South Africa. So we now plan out to attack them, but also we didn't have another essential part to fight Russia. It was our air force. Our air force was too little, it was non-existential, and that was the reason that we lost in France and are now getting bombed by Russians in England. So now, as long as we are not making tanks, I will assign all of the factories to aircraft. Now we have 100 factories on our aircraft, and thank to God we had refineries that can make a rubber to actually make the aircraft itself. And because the French have not capitulated for now, we can ask them for the naval base that we can use against the South Africa. Now our plan is ready and we can now attack them. After attacking, 3 full army divisions with the head of J.D. Vance are now headed towards Cape Town. We successfully land in South Africa and start pushing them. It was very easy, relatively easy at the first, but then when we reached their capital, the Russian volunteers have arrived. Now our divisions were struggling very much to do anything against the South Africans. So we had to assign all of our forces from the United Kingdom to help us in South Africa. Meanwhile, we have made so much air force, more than 13,000 fighters, that we can now cover all of England, all of France, Netherlands, almost all of the Europe. And now we can logistically strike them, port strike them, and also strategically bomb them, because we have also assigned 100 more factories to B-2 bombers. They are reaching as far as Poland, Hungary, Sweden, and Portugal. That's why it's good, actually. And also everything in the air is green. So now that the Russians were counterattacking us in South Africa, we have successfully managed to deliver all of our troops here. We also make few airports here and station all of our air force, more than 1,000 planes that will strategically bomb, logistically strike, and also gain air superiority in South Africa. After a lot of attempts, our divisions finally break through their lines and take their only port that they have left, after which South Africa capitulates. And here is what is the most craziest part in this game. 110 Russian new tank divisions get encircled in South Africa, and after a lot of battles, actually a very long 2 battles, we have managed to capitulate all of their tanks, which totally hurts their logistics of their military. Now that damage has been done, with our new technologies we start making 5th generation tanks to fill all of our tank divisions. We also switch all of our infantry divisions to tank divisions of Elon Musk's template. Now we have 14 full armies of tank divisions that have more than 600 attack. Our divisions were ready, everything in Europe was bombed, they didn't have any air force to station anywhere, they didn't have any logistics to station their troops, everything was under our control. So we start our big naval invasion. It goes all the way from Belgium to Brest. This naval invasion was very successful for our divisions, and after it was done, we started pushing them. We started pushing them very hard. They couldn't do anything and they couldn't defend normally because they again did not have any kind of logistics. They did not have any kind of airports. Our divisions rush through France. We make a huge encirclement of more than 50 to 60 divisions of the Allied forces of Russia, and we also made a quite struggle here in Rhineland, but after our air force arrives here, we do successfully manage to push them too. Meanwhile, our troops have already closed the encirclements everywhere and also closed the encirclement in Amsterdam, another big one. We have managed to capture Berlin, and Berlin was also another encirclement, and the same thing happened to Denmark. Now here we station 3 of our best divisions to protect the border of Denmark and Sweden. Meanwhile, we focus on other fronts. Germany now has been capitulated and also Poland, and our forces have reached Russia. It was already understandable that the Russians did not have the troops to cover this, because all of their troops, remaining troops, almost all of them, and also all of their allies have been encircled in Italy, a very big encirclement. And here we also close more than 60 divisions, then 30 divisions, then another 10 divisions, and this leaves them without anything, and Italy capitulates too. Now we have reached Romania. Romania capitulates, Hungary capitulates, Slovakia capitulates, and Greece capitulates. We also gain control of Istanbul, and now all of our forces that were fighting in Italy can successfully push through Russia. We go ahead and capitulate Finland, and we reach all of the important points in Russia. Meanwhile, our troops were storming Tsaritsyn, the famous Stalingrad. The Russians have decided to capitulate, and after that capitulation has happened, a very strange thing has happened too. Of course, Russia has break down into a lot of pieces, but those pieces were communists, and there were an alliance with the communists, and I remind you that we did not defeat them yet. And this leaves a lot of our tank divisions, almost more than half of them, in the big encirclement. So now we have to liberate all of that before they close it, because if they will close it, then it would be a disaster for the US military. We assigned all of our troops that we had in Finland, and there were a lot of them actually, and they start pushing again towards Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Estonia, Poland. They successfully capitulate all of the important points with the help of the encircled divisions too, because meanwhile they were encircled, they were still fighting and they were still good. They successfully managed to take out Russia and ultimately defeat the communists. There was left few Tsarist loyalist governments, Norway and Sweden, which have capitulated in front of your eyes just now. The same thing with Turkey, and now the only bastion of communism in Europe is Portugal. We make the beautiful naval invasion with the head of JD Vance there, and we can call it a day. Now Europe and Russia has been saved by the Elon Musk's United States of America. Democracy has been saved in the world. I thank you for watching, and if you want more Fire Rises videos, please subscribe, and I'll see you next one. Goodbye.